Marvel Studios finally unveiled its first look at Eternals. Should we be excited? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. I'm still getting over a sinus thing, and I pushed my voice way too hard this weekend with my son's birthday, but I'm so happy to have Don here to help speak for me. How you doing, man?
Good to be here. Glad I could be a voice.
Yes, we need an extra voice. All right, now I want to break down what the Eternals is. What do we know so far? I got some quotes from Chloé Zhao, the now Academy Award-winning director of Eternals. But before we get into any of the backstory and our thoughts, let's go through this footage, shall we, Don? I have this. I turned on the audio. We have our first look at what the Eternals is going to look like. Now, this is part of a Marvel Studios celebrates the movies, and I'll be covering a lot of this throughout the day. They revealed some other big things, so stay tuned. But first, I wanted to break down this first look because I think this was probably the biggest news. We got to finally see what this looks like, and it's not, I think, what people were expecting. So here's the first shot we got, which was Salma Hayek on a horse. And then we got this shot against a... seems like the Malibu, Pacific Coast, I don't know, against the sunset as two Eternals hold hands. We get this really gorgeous shot. And from what I've only known so far is this is something that was very important for Chloé Zhao to sort of do these natural lightings scenes. And from what I learned, actually, there's actually a lot that was shot in camera and not as many effects as people think. She wanted to shoot around the world in her style, and Kevin Feige was like, okay, I'm going to break down those quotes a little bit. But this totally gives just an interesting vibe that I wasn't expecting. And if you guys are familiar with Nomadland, her film that she just did, it doesn't surprise me that she's sort of doing a very similar sort of moonlight hour shots and things to really sort of have this sort of feel out there. As you can sort of tell, she likes to work at these moonlight hours. And so there's clearly, excuse me, there's clearly an artistic style here at work, and I'm excited to see more of Chloé Zhao's look. And then as we continue to go, we get our sort of first group shot in sort of human clothes. There's someone back here holding a camera, I noticed. Richard Madden from Game of Thrones, but there is like a camera back there, like they're on a mission or documenting something is what I noticed there, if you guys didn't catch that. And then we get we'll play this one more time, as you can see, right in the back corner there. In fact, if I go close up, you might see it even better. There it is.
Yeah, there's a group of people behind them.
And then there's a camera right behind Kumal.
Yeah.
Right there.
Like a news anchor camera.
News anchor. Like so, and then you get this amazing, cool shot of Angelina Jolie with the sword. And that's really sort of, I think, the thumbnail, if you will. You know what I mean? Right here, if Sarah seeing this celestial sword lighting Angelina Jolie. As we slowly push in. And then reveal the title. And the title then gives us a date as well, November 5th. So it's sticking to that date, which is, I guess, a good news. And then we have someone running in, Flash style, what the future brings. Now, they went through and talked about a lot more title changes and things, but that was sort of our last shot of the Eternals in their look. So, Don, I want to get your thoughts on what you think. Overall, like I'm surprised, but I'm pleasantly surprised in a way because I feel like, you know what, I want to see something different. I don't want to just see a bunch of CGI, celestial, crazy universe stuff. We have a lot of that, and I understand that's what these sort of characters are, but I kind of love this idea that Chloé Zhao is going to keep being what she is. And as we go through here, sorry, I should have brought my water. Zhao and Marvel began working together on Eternals pitch, which Feige calls spectacular. He says it was a very bold and very ambitious, sprawling 7,000-year story of humanity and our place in the cosmos. In the movie, Zhao was really fighting for practical locations in accordance with her vision. At one point, they cut a sample reel for Eternals for the higher-ups to watch. And I had to keep saying, this is right out of a camera. There's no effects work in this at all. Feige says, because it was a beautiful sunset with perfect waves and mist coming up from the shore on this giant cliffside. I'm imagining it's that shot we just looked at. Really impressive stuff. Later, watching Nomadland, he saw similar shots. Oh, that is not just what she wanted to bring to Marvel, he remembers thinking. This is a signature style. And so, as you can tell here, this is that one shot we paused on earlier is clearly, I think, the shot he's referring to. But, you know, there it is. I like this. And there's more she's going to talk about. We'll go there. But before I go there, I'm pleasantly surprised by this sort of artistic look. Adon, what are your thoughts?
It definitely gives it a more... unique feel, which honestly is kind of polar opposite to Jack Kirby in the sense that Jack Kirby was very stylized, very case in point, Thor Ragnarok. That was Jack Kirby. all the way. Like the way they did Thor Ragnarok with the city, the way Jeff Goldblum was dressed and designed in the outfits, the bright colors. Yeah, everything about that was quintessential Jack Kirby. And like when you saw you saw the original clips of like the artwork for Eternals, you can tell. But this, making it more natural, making the stylized look of it, is almost a tribute to Jack Kirby because of his uniqueness. It's just on the polar opposite side, which I love that.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something I can see certain aspects like that in Marvel, but not emphasized in the movies. So I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'm also excited. And so I wanted to find the next quote. She said, "It's been an incredible experience working with the team at Marvel. I want to be careful saying my vision, even though I do want people to know they did support what I wanted to do. I want people to know that, but I also want to make sure they know that I got the support of this incredibly talented team, some of the most talented artists in the world, and it really is a village to make this film. Props to Marvel from early on. They knew the way I wanted to make this film, how I wanted to shoot it. It can't be hundreds of people standing around, so they very much adapted how to run the set the way I wanted to work. I'm still surrounded by 25 people that just have armies, and each of them knew to keep away." And so Jack Kirby and his imagination, his incredible work is really the foundation of it. On top of that, there is what Marvel Studios has built, this incredible journey they have going. And then on top of that, for me as a fan of the MCU, and then as me as a fan of the genre, but also growing up with sci-fi and manga and fantasy films, and how can we have this big melting pot and cook up something that may just taste a little bit different. It was just an exciting thing. All of us went in wanting to do that. We'll see. And so she's also getting a writing credit apparently, and a lot of others and she's working with editors for the first time because she's the type of a director who likes to do it all. But she admitted she's in the final stretch. It's not done yet. It's just like sculpting. You never want it to end. You just want to keep going until they tell you can't keep going anymore. She's also working on a Western, futuristic sci-fi Western version of Dracula. So look, I can see that. I like the fact that she's she's got a look of her own. She's doing something new here. There's one more shot after the trailer. I want to make sure I didn't skip, which I guess we did. Did I show you? No, it's one more at the very end of the trailer. I think it is. Here it is. Yeah. There's this shot here where she's sort of
everything.
Where we get to see one more shot. I forget of this actor. I'm sorry, I told you I'm spacing on her name, but she's apparently the lead of the film. And I have a scoop more on that coming. And then again, another camera guy. So it seems like I can't tell. He's supposed to be an Eternal, but he's also seemingly there undercover, right? So any thought on that, Adon?
No. I mean, like I should have started reading the new Eternals because Marvel is notorious for integrating like the storylines or tying them so eerily close to recent stories. But I wanted to go fresh, and I didn't want to. I wanted to treat this like I would with the Guardians and go fresh, and not be like I'm familiar with the Eternals themselves, but not any of their pivotal storylines.
That's Gamma. Well, Gamma Chan is who I was trying to. Cersei is a character.
Cersei
apparently has been. Everyone's sort of assuming. Excuse me. So sorry, everybody, but the show must go on. Everyone's sort of assuming it's Richard Madden, which he's part of it, or Angelina Jolie, but no, apparently Cersei and Gemma Chan is one of the main leads in the film.
Well, in case you haven't realized, a lot of the Eternal characters are named after gods.
Mm-hmm.
So, Icarus. Like, they're godlike characters, and they the thing that makes them unique, they have the ability to control their molecules of their bodies. And so they basically can like technically resurrect themselves. They're virtually immortal. But a lot of the characters themselves will specialize in certain abilities. So like Icarus, I'm assuming it's going to be the one that you saw that was the running into the screen, like the Flash style.
Yeah.
So you will have characters that will specialize in certain abilities, even though they can technically do multiple abilities if they really wanted to. But that's a unique trait of theirs that makes them internal is the fact that they can control their bodies to such an extent.
It doesn't look like that's actually Richard Madden. The more I'm looking at that, the Icarus, I'm trying to figure out who's who. We might have to stay tuned because, again, this is such an unfamiliar property there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, not look, Richard Madden, I don't know, maybe it is, but it looks like, unless he has a ponytail. Maybe they have multiple powers. We will find out. So overall, are you excited, Don? I got to say, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. It's not one I'm like dying to see, but I'm impressed with Nomadland and Chloé Zhao. I want to see more of what she's bringing to the table here. I love that they sort of let her go do her own thing, like they did let James Gunn do his own thing for Guardians. So from that regard, I'm excited for this. Don, final thought?
I'm actually excited because I'm going in fresh. I have no idea what they're going to come out with me. It looks like it's going to be visually good and it's going to be appealing there. So all they need is solid story and good action, and I'm gonna be sold.
So
easy.
Yeah, there he is. Solid action, good story. It sounds like, and some great visuals. We might have it November 5th. I'm curious what you guys think. Tell me down in the comments below. Stay tuned. We got more coverage here of Marvel's big reveals, and I got some more information, insight, scoops, etc. So make sure if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. Hit the bell for all alerts. It's the only way you get these videos. And then smash that like button and leave a comment for the algorithm love. Make sure you also go show Nerd Tots some love. Adon, look them up at youtube.com/nerdtots. And thanks for being here. Guys, love you. Thank you for bearing with me in my cough. I'll be back healthier soon, I hope. But the show must go on. In the meanwhile, check out some of these videos. Appreciate all you guys. See you soon.